Good evening and welcome again. I'm Rochelle Kopp. I'm one of the resident mentors for the program here, and I'm going to be your MC this evening. So really excited to be presenting the Accelerate Aichi Landing Pad Batch 2 Demo Day program to you tonight. This is going to be a really exciting program where you're going to hear from 14 different startups that have been participating in the program. And also, tonight's program is a little bit different than the typical demo day, and I think you're going to like the format that we have put together for you. The Accelerate Aichi by 500 Global Landing Pad program is a market access immersion program for international startups that want to get involved in the Japanese market. This batch is going to be the first one to do a demo day here in Nagoya in English. So we are going to be hearing from 14 founders who are really leaders in their fields in areas including SaaS, fintech, health tech, and sustainability. In the last 4 weeks, our founders have immersed themselves in the Japanese business landscape, and they've been meeting with potential partners and customers here in Nagoya and in Tokyo and Osaka, and making lasting relationships. Today, you're going to hear insights on how they're solving problems and how they are bringing those solutions to the Japanese market to benefit customers and corporations here in Japan. We're also joined by 2 startups from Batch 1 who participated online last year and now are here in person for the on-site part of the program. And you'll be getting to meet them later in the program as well. At the end of the event, you're going to have a chance to join our founders at some booths at the side of the room and get to chat and know them personally. So I'd like to kick off the demo day here by inviting the Vice Governor of Aichi Prefecture, Mr. Shinichiro Furumoto, on stage to give a welcome speech.
Wow, too young looks. Maybe I think 15 years ago pictured. Originally, I worked for Toyota Motor Corporation 35 years ago. And after that, I worked for a parliament member of Japanese government, lower house member. Last September, from April, I work for Aichi Prefecture. So my colleagues, please take some movies, just for my memories. My name is Shinichiro Furumoto, Vice Governor of Aichi Prefecture. Welcome to Aichi. And I think I would like to say just 2 things. One is, I thank you very much, 500 Global members, because of your great support. Tonight, we can hold this very nice party. Please enjoy, guys. And from Europe, from Asia, and all over the world. Second, I would like to say, please join us from next year, 2024. What month? Station AI. From October. From October 2024, we're gonna start pretty nice startup like a station. So we call Station AI. Why don't you join us? Very welcome to come to Aichi Prefecture, and please join our brand new program. In Japan, I think 47 prefectures we have, but only one. The local government, prefectural government decided to prepared such a station for accelerator or innovators, starters, go together. We would like to prepare the place right here downtown Nagoya. Anyway, guys, do you enjoy Nagoya? Yeah. How many enjoy? Super enjoy. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. But right now, Japan, I think it's snow season. Anybody else skiing or snowboarding? No, nobody? You should enjoy Japanese powder snow. I bet you should try Japanese snow. But please do care backcountry. Just small members make some trouble. So please take care. I hope downtown Nagoya night and Aichi Prefecture, and next year, please join us, Station AI. Last of all, I think the next guy's delay because Shinkansen Super Expressway has some trouble I've heard. So I think maybe 1 minute more I can speak, right? Okay. Last year I've been to the Netherlands, Dutch, and Ireland. My colleagues. Have you ever been to Ireland? People who Dublin? You should cool. You cool, very cool. And I drink Guinness, of course. But more interesting is over 95% leasing airplane company is together in Dublin. And headquarters of Google companies in Europe is located in Dublin. Dublin is the center of European startup companies, guys, go together in the Dublin. I was surprised. And Dogpatch, so is that right? Dogpatch in Dublin, like accelerators and startups and like facilities. I've been there. In Dogpatch, one directions, like traffic directions, located in Dogpatch and facilities, directions, like traffic directions. And they have some pictures from royal families or very impressive place. Direction is directed to California. This direction, California, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, directions. No Nagoya. No Tokyo. I'm sure a priest together here because in Aichi we have so many manufacturers. We have so many startup seeds. We have possibilities. Please join us, our next year's very super fine program, so we call Station AI. Thank you very much. Please enjoy.
Thank you very much, Furumoto-san, for that inspiring speech. And as Furumoto-san mentioned, unfortunately, our next speaker, Tony Wang, managing partner at 500 Global, was not able to get here due to the Shinkansen problem. So instead, filling in for him will be Yiling Lim, who is Executive Director for Market Launch for 500 Global. Yiling, let's hear from you.
Good evening, everyone. Konbawa. I heard the groan in the audience earlier on, but I'll try and live up to it with this speech. Although, I must say, thank you so much to Furumoto-san for the really enlightening, light-hearted, funny speech that he gave earlier on. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit more by the book. So I'm Yi-Ling Lim, Executive Director at 500 Global, and welcome to Bridging Together, the demo day of the Accelerate Aichi by 500 Global Lending Batch 2 program. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us here today, and I'd also like to thank the Aichi Prefectural Government for continuing the partnership together with us and to bring this program to fruition. Like Furumoto-san said, even though the prefecture is not necessarily known for snow, however, it's very, very well known for its history of innovation, particularly through its global leadership in automobile and manufacturing. And we are proud to work together with Aichi in its mission to continue promoting innovation by hosting talented tech startups from Japan and around the world. And again, Station AI. The Lending Pad program that we just ended hosts 14 startups from around the world with the intention to generate momentum in Japan by working with corporations and partners. During the last 4 weeks, the founders from all around the world have immersed themselves in the local ecosystem here and in the local business culture. And today, you will hear from them as to why did they select Japan and why here to expand their business. And you'll also hear from them as to why their solutions have the potential to drive innovation forward. At 500 Global, our mission is to uplift people and economies through entrepreneurship. We've backed startups across stages, from first check to pre-IPO, and we've invested in more than 2,700 companies in 81 countries. And our roots in Japan runs deep. We've invested in Japan from the start. We have more than 6 years of experience in running accelerators and bootcamp programs in the country. We're early believers in Japanese talent, and out of 51 unicorns that we have today, 2 are from Japan, Paydi and Smart HR. And we look to nurture more in the future. You'll now hear from founders who have really exciting potential, and most importantly, are creating bridges between Japan and the rest of the world. I wish them the best and look forward to meeting with many of you later. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you very much, Yi-Ling, for those inspiring words and also for pinch hitting on that. Next, we have a video message from Hideaki Omura, who is the governor of Aichi Prefecture, with some special words for our startups tonight.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hideaki Omura, governor of Aichi Prefecture. Welcome to the landing pad demo day of Accelerate Aichi by 500 Global. Aichi is home to numerous companies that boast world-class technology. The region is full of opportunity to match up with those leading companies and create new business. The Aichi Prefecture government is aiming to form a startup ecosystem which will be the base for companies and startups to generate innovation together. To this end, we have been implementing various programs. I'm glad that you have all gathered here in Aichi this year for Accelerate Aichi by 500 Global. I hope that startups can fully demonstrate their business model to investors and prospects today. I also hope that today's demo day will be a venue where investors and startups meet. Let's make innovation from Aichi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Omura-san, for those very spirited words. Now I'd like to kick off the next section of the program with our panel discussions. We're going to be having 14 startups speak to you in 4 panels, each with a different theme. The first panel is going to focus on better cities, and it will show how these startups are improving urban life through technology. The second panel will focus on better life, showing how technology can help solve the everyday problems of people. Then we'll have a panel that looks at smart work, how advances in AI and other technologies can be used to make everyday work more efficient and more productive. And then finally, we're going to have a panel that looks at sustainability and how technology can help us keep our planet safer for the future and make improvements in how we use resources. So I'd like to start off with the first panel, invite up our moderator, Carrie Liao. So she is the Regional Director for Market Launch for 500 Global, and she'll be leading the panel on smart cities. Over to you, Carrie.
Thank you, Rochelle. Hi, everyone. I feel really honored to be hosting the first panel. I think this event today is really about us bridging international startups, the global world, to Aichi, the home of innovation. And I think a lot of thought has gone around behind digitalization as well as uplifting very seemingly traditional industries, from parking spaces to properties and buildings to logistics, software, and hardware companies. We're moving into the time of super apps, DX, digital transformation, and startups here today with me are representing solutions, turning this city into a smart one, a better one, and helping to make lives for human beings easier, faster, and more accessible. So please join me in welcoming my panel. First up, I'd like to invite Ronald Yu, the CEO and founder of AutoPass. Ronald, please. And Ronald Ng, CEO and founder of Move It, Move It. Trevor Ho, CEO and founder of Syrup Intelligence. And Vitaly Pentagov, CEO and founder of Urban Train Group. All right, gentlemen, please join me. Today we're going to be talking about better cities, right? But before that, let us hear from our panelists who want to tell you a little bit about what they do and their companies. So Vitaly, over to you.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Vitaly, and I'm a Chief Entertaining Officer at Urban Chain Group. And we do a magic in our company. We actually transform a car into a credit card. So we use our vehicle recognition technology to enable drivers to pay and use services automatically at destinations. So we connect the buildings with cars using AI and IoT technologies. We work with some big property owners and mobility companies, increasing their profit and asset value with proven record in 3 countries. Last week, we delivered a POC for Japanese government, and we have more magic to share. Please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Vitaly. Let's hear from Trevor.
Hi, everyone. In 5 years, there will be 50 billion more IoT devices, increasing number of electric vehicles, smart devices, robots. Do we want to download 100 more apps? I don't think so. This is Trevor, founder of Syrup Intelligence. We provide super app solutions for business to help to build smart applications faster, easier, and more cost-effectively by 50%. So actually, what Stripe does for finance, we do it for IoT. If you have a like-minded vision like me to build a more interconnected world, please feel free to talk to me. We are doing fundraising for our seed round. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Next up, let's hear from Ronald Ng.
Hi, everyone. We are facing a global problem, the rising cost of truck and drivers. And now, we have got the solutions. I'm Ronald, founder and CEO of Move It, Move It. We are a logistic applications working on a 2-side marketplace. One side, we are condensing different logistic companies, and we help them to connect to clients and drive their revenues. And on the other side, we help enterprise to manage their truck and drivers so they can increase their sales and reduce their operation costs. So if you are rely on truck and drivers, I would like to invite you to join me. Let's move it, move it. Thank you.
All right, let's move it, move it. And last but not least, Ronald Yu, please tell us about AutoPass.
Hi, my name is Ronald, CEO and founder of AutoPass. I believe many of you drive to the venue to participate in this event. So every day, millions of drivers drive on the road, and we make revenue on their daily journey. So in Asia, there's 400 million drivers, and AutoPass network covered 8 million drivers in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and also Japan. So we empower the traditional operators like parking lot, gas stations, and charging EPO to provide a better payment experience for them. And also in Asia, we work with Toyota, Line, and other banks to help them build up a mobility as a service without hiring a 30 engineers IT team immediately. So if you are interested in car business, if you're interested in driver's revenue, just join us with AutoPass to drive revenue in the near future.
Thank you, Ronald. All right, so my first question is actually for Ronald Yu. Tell me, why is it important for you to create this better experience for cars and drivers?
Okay. So for the past decades, that technology has been poured in to build up electric cars, autonomous cars. So every engineer is trying their best to build the next generation cars. But in our daily life, when we drive, we're entering the parking lots or we're entering the gas station, we still have to use the traditional ways, like to lower down the window, to tap, to pay into the auto payment machine with cash. So that bothers me a lot. And I found it like quite ridiculous that if I'm driving the autonomous car, I have to tell my car to lower down the window to do some gesture like this. So that's why we jump into this journey to help drivers to create a better driving experience.
Thank you for sharing that. Often we hear that it's the founder's personal problem, right, that really kind of leads to a good solution. Ronald Ng, tell me, was it a personal problem for you?
Yes, actually, it is the same personal problem, same as you do. Because I was born in a logistic family background, and my parents run a logistic company in Hong Kong. And in the weekend, I help them to be the truck drivers, manage the clients, and work with the workers. And I see a lot of pain points coming out from my experience. So I want to involve intelligence, data, and AI to help them to transform, to make the business more efficient.
What kind of pain points? Tell me more.
There's quite a few of pain points. The first one is about to the clients. My parents have to go on site visit physically, which is time consuming. And it is costly as well. And on the other side, there's always miscommunications between drivers and the boss and the workers. So there's a little bit of dilemmas coming out between them. And on the other side, for the business, they need to spend time, admin costs to manage the truck and drivers. So there's a certain cost appear within those range.
Thank you for sharing that. Really interesting to hear that it is kind of our personal problems or problems that we face in our family that kind of leads to, finding solutions, right? What about you, Vitali? How are you connecting cars to buildings?
Right.
Educate me.
Sure. So basically, like if we walk to the buildings, starting with the parking entrance or inside the building, there is a lot of infrastructure, like a lot of equipment, and it's working offline, so the buildings are not connected anyhow. So how can you connect it with surroundings? So what we do is basically we cover the vehicle experience, the mobility part. So using our automatic vehicle recognition, we basically enable property owners to achieve some of three main aims, I would say. So first of all, we help them to collect, verify, and interpret the data that really matters for them. For example, like the incoming, outgoing traffic, the real-time occupancy, so the gas profiles, and etc. So they can understand how can they increase the asset value. Second one, we bring the drivers from offline to online. We basically supply with the web app, which is white label. So this web is a channel to communicate with those drivers with like customized promotions, and the information that distributed online. And the third one, we connect the mobility ecosystem and bring it to the buildings. So then the property owners can offer new mobility options for their tenants, like car sharing, EV charging, and connected car services with the discounts around. So basically like that.
Wow, that's a lot that you're doing. Sounds like I hear someone is solving problem for drivers, for trucking, and now for buildings with drivers inside of them, right? So over to Trevor. I keep hearing this word super app, right? Can you tell me what that means?
Sure. I actually steal the work from Superman. So Superman can do everything. Super app is all application in one place.
I already have all the applications in one place on my phone.
Yeah, 1 second. Can I borrow your phone? Oh, please. All right. Okay.
Be careful what you see on the phone.
Yeah. Okay. I think he got like around 200 apps in his phone. I think this is everyone's problem. So many apps. So what we can do is actually we can connecting apps together. So for example, you can use Slack or Messenger Line to communicate with multiple apps that you always use. So you don't need to switch around different apps. You can communicate through one app to many other apps. So this is what we do. We actually help business to connect more and connect faster. And also we help to make IoT smart devices even smarter.
What kind of IoT devices are we talking about?
IoT devices could be like air conditioner, lighting, door lock. Actually, there are lots of IoT devices around us every day, and it's increasing. Yeah.
How will this, I mean, I hear that it can help me, right? I
Yes.
can connect my IoT devices to my phone in one app.
Right.
How does it help Japanese businesses?
I think Japanese government is driving the Society 5.0 policy. IoT play a really important role to connect data and human being in the whole scheme. So to make data exchangeable and shareable. And I think I can help to interconnect IoT together. This is what I see when I come to Japan. I see many great hardware manufacturers, Mitsubishi, Panasonic, Daikin, but I don't see them working together. So I think this is something that I can help to interconnect them together to build a better user experience to the end user.
Thank you. Sounds to me like a smart city or a better city, it's about interconnecting, right?
Yes.
But people also have to come on board, right? We have to be willing to use it. Ronald, can you tell me a bit about the journey of trying to onboard users to that change, right? Being able to my car can just pay for me. How does that work? How has it been for you?
Yeah. So the journey has been quite challenging for us, but till now it's quite interesting to see all of the behavioral change from using cash, using Line Pay, PayPay, and then now people realize that, oh, I can use my car as a identity to pay in every direction. Imagine that you're going through the drive-through of the McDonald's, and then you pay by your car directly. So that's what we did. That's called behavioral change, that people getting used to that. But the first thing is that we have to persuade the merchants, the gas station, the parking lots, the charging spots to adopting this kind of integration with the camera, with the visual recognitions, all of the things. And like in Taiwan, we have a lot of merchants deploying all of these kind of things. And people starting to think about, okay, in this society that all of the information overloaded in our daily life, we can make life easier by just not doing anything, just using the technology to help me drive easier. So that's the journey, and that's the good thing that we enjoy in this journey.
Sounds like it's the real user journey that you're actually going on with your users, right? Yeah. You spoke about gas stations.
Yes.
I heard that this week you closed a deal with a bunch of gas stations in Taiwan. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, actually, I just came back from Taiwan yesterday, and we just launched our cashless payment experience with the biggest gas station in Taiwan. Now we cover 800 of them in Taiwan directly. So those are the huge companies that are willing to work with us because they think in the near future that people are getting used to use mobile payments with any kind of identity they have right now. So quite a success for us. So that's why I said this journey is quite interesting because people realize that technology can benefit them.
Thank you. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's hear from the trucking industry, the logistics space. How have you seen it shift over time, Ronald Ng?
Yep. I would say that nowadays people want their deliveries to be quicker and more reliable. I would say I would give an example of the traditional ways. Before, when people want to deliver their products or relocate their house, it would take times a week or even a month to see their product to be delivered to their home. And they can't even track their products and where is their trucks is on the way or not. But now, with technologies, we can make them instantly within a day. And the product is able to trace on even a mobile applications. So with technologies, with our applications, we can perform that instant, traceable, and more reliable services in logistic industry. So I will invite everyone to move it. Thank you.
I hear that you're really talking about the logistics space being really smart and better, right? Because everything can be, much faster and easier, and we have control over our data. I want to hear a bit from the two gentlemen over there. What is your take on smart cities? Maybe Vitaly, you can go first.
Sure. So I think the smart city, we need to understand the definition of it, right? Look at the word smart and city, right? And if every one of us will think, what is a smart city? Probably the first feeling is like something big, something complicated, maybe a lot of different things. So first of all, what is smart, right? I'm definitely sure that I'm with a very smart people over here, doing great solution. And all of us, if we form our solution together, it would be like sort of a small city, right? Smart small city. So what I'm implying is that we need to work together. We need to combine the smart solutions, and we need to work together like on the common values to make the city smart, which is more sustainable, creating more values for the society, for the companies inside the ecosystem as a smart city. So, and that's why we're here in Aichi to try to join forces to work all together to bring the values for people and the cities.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's really interesting that when we talk about a smart city, you mentioned that you're on a panel with really smart guys, right? It is this room of really people coming together and doing that. Trevor, what is your take on smart cities?
I think smart city is about human centricity. So I can imagine in the future, when the home is smarter, so my home would know what room temperature I need, what TV program I watch. So when I travel to Nagoya and book a house in Airbnb, and once I get there, I don't need to do the same setting again. So I can just share my setting to this home and tune the setting, the room temperature will adjust to my preferences. So things are getting more personalized. And when I go anywhere, it becomes my home. So I think city is everyone together, and I think the smart city is everyone individual city.
Oh, I love hearing that. We hear about ecosystem and we hear about the individual city. And at the end of it, I think it's all about the people, right? People in the room, people on stage, people in this ecosystem coming together. So let's end off with like, what would you say to people in the audience who want to work with you? Okay, Ronald Ng, you go first. Yeah.
I would say that according to our topic here, like bridging together, connecting Japan with the global industry is so important. So we are now here, we are doing the same thing as well. We are a marketplace. I'm connecting the logistic trucking and the clients to help them, to match them. So we are trying to perform in this way. So if any one of you here, your business is rely on truck and drivers, I would want to invite you to join us because we involve intelligence, data, and AI to help you to perform reducing in cost and drive up the revenues. So yeah, that's it.
So
Let's move it.
Yeah, all right. Okay. What about you, Ronald? What would you say to the audience if they want to work with you?
Yeah, so I believe that all the participants here is quite successful in their career and in their business. I've heard that there are several like car company manufacturer coming to join the panel. For us, that it takes a little bit more to inventing the new behavior. So I I think that the keywords for us is courage. That encourage all of those like Japanese company or all of the company coming from the program, that we can have the courage to step a little bit forward. So for us, that I invite all of the like car manufacturer or retailers or whatever company that want to do business with drivers to join me with the courage to build the revenue from drivers.
Thank you. That really spoke to me. What about you, Trevor?
I would like to share my story. First, like 7 years ago, I co-founded another company. We provide energy sensor solution for the user, so to understand how much energy consumption of each individual electrical appliances in every minute, so that they can save energy. And most of the time, we were being asked like, hey, can you just help us to turn off air conditioner or lighting or different things when it is not in use? I couldn't do it because we couldn't connect all these appliances. And I think right now we have a great opportunity. We all work together to try to make the city smarter, but not just only the human level, but also on the system level. I think things can be connected to each other. So I think let's get the city smarter together. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Vitaly?
Working with us, welcome everyone, but there is one criteria. So first of all, we need to get a beer together. So
Yeah.
that's on me. That's on me.
We have
for
a
sure.
lot of beer already.
If not today, then yeah, definitely, yeah, today is a good day. So why I'm talking about it? Because like when we drink a little bit, we become like less stressful, more open to each other, and we communicate more on a feeling basis. So one of the key things here is like we have a passion in our conversation, sharing our experience, sharing like our business practices, and we more talking about some more human values. Everyone is like on a business meetings, like they tend to be like very constrained in what they talk and share, and not talking a lot about the values, but more like about the business, about the profit. So like everyone is talking about this, but what I want everyone to do is again like to work together, right? To share the values of each other, and I want to like thank all the guys within our batch. Like we have a lot of connected industry, like with Ronald, right? With AutoPass.
That's why he invited me to Jing.
I see. That's why you guys had beer. Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Yeah. So yeah, we are in a similar industry, right? So we now like align with the synergies throughout the program and forming a partnership. With Ronald, for example, right? Logistics, buildings, it's our clients and your clients. So Trevor, we're using AIoT, and we struggle to connect all that stuff, right? So you're the guy to connect. So we all got connected, and we want to connect with all of you for a good conversation to make the cities better. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So what I hear is a smart city or a better city is one that's connected.
Yeah.
It's courageous, right? It's definitely open-minded and passionate, as well as it's also systematic because it comes together at the same time. And of course, moving it, right? We have to move it, yeah. So if any of you here in the audience would like to really find out how we can build a smart city together, with all the solutions we have on the panel, please talk to them on the booth. And it's been my pleasure hosting you guys. So let's give them a round of applause. Right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that really insightful and interesting panel. That was a great opening to our panel discussions. And now it's my turn. I'm going to be moderating a panel on the topic of better life. So what do I mean when I say better life? What are these startups doing in this area? We're going to be talking to 3 startups, and they are offering various technical solutions to help make people's everyday lives better, whether it's by using robotics to help solve the manpower shortage in healthcare and service industries, or applying AI to help prevent dementia, or innovative ways to help people who don't have access to traditional banking. So we're going to hear the details of how they're applying all these ideas to make people's lives easier and better. So now I'd like to ask my 3 startups to come up and join the panel. So we're going to start first with Dr. Hanafi Yusuf, who is founder and CEO of Robopreneur. Next, we'll have Jaemin Chun, who is CTO and co-founder of Sylvia Health. And finally, Sarah Dewanto, who is founder and CEO of Duitape. Thanks so much, each of you. So what I'd like to do is have you each introduce yourselves and your businesses. So we'll start off with you, Sarah.
Hi everyone. My name is Sarah Dewanto, and I'm the founder and CEO of Duitape. And what we do is that we humanize payments. So for all, what do we mean by that? We use facial recognition to enable anyone from the ages of 5 to 80 years old, even the disabled, to be able to make digital payments simply by showing their face. And we help our clients, which could be governments, it could be companies like banks and lenders, as well as aid donors, to be able to do mass payments and distributions and gain access to 4 billion financially excluded people in the world. And with this, we gained funding, and our last round was actually oversubscribed by, thank you very much, 500 startups. Or 500 Global, I'm sorry, 500 Global, and also with Mr. Yushi Nohara-san, Director of Prestation AI, and also by other Japanese companies like TEPCO. And so now we're actually opening a new round of funding, and we're hoping that you would join our journey, not only of addressing a problem faced by 4 billion people, but also by changing the world. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, Jaemin.
Hello, everyone. Dementia has no cure. 5 million people in Japan have dementia, and the estimated care cost is over 2 trillion yen. Minasan, konbanwa. My name is Jaemin Chun. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Sylvia Health. At Sylvia Health, we're developing a digital healthcare platform where we find and prevent dementia. Our mobile app is already loved by more than 50,000 global users and has been proven effective in clinical trials in the US and Korea. Please join us in our journey to make a world where Alzheimer's is no longer feared. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Hana.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Over 70% of Japanese companies have a manpower shortage. This eventually will slow down the economic growth of Japan. I'm Dr. Hanafi Yusuf. I'm the founder and CEO of Robopreneur. We offer service robotics products, solutions, and services. We help companies to reduce dependency on manual manpower, and we help companies to increase productivity by 6 times, and also help you to reduce costs more than 50%. We have been raised a new round of investment, and we are ready to expand our business in Japan. So everyone, let's make Japan even greater.
Excellent. So what I'd like to do is first start off and ask these 3 startups a little bit more about the market and problems that they're trying to serve and solve. So we'll start with Hana. Can you tell us a little bit about the labor shortage, manpower shortage that's happening, and what Robopreneur is doing about it?
Yes, thank you, Rochelle. I think the most critical problem nowadays is actually the global manpower shortage, and it's also happening in Japan. And the manpower shortage in Japan is getting worse. And what we, as a service robotics company, Robopreneur offers unique solutions in order to automate the low-value jobs by using our service robots. So we let humans to reallocate their job to do high-level value jobs and let the robot to focus on the low-value jobs. So by doing this, we eventually can keep people's job, at the same time solve the manpower shortage problems. Yeah.
So people usually think of Japan as being a real leader in robotics. So what does your firm bring that isn't already here in Japan?
Yeah, actually, Japan is very advanced in manufacturing robots. You know, industrial robotics is quite advanced here, especially in Aichi. We have Toyota and all those companies. But service robotics is a new area where people's being affected in terms of coronavirus, in terms of all this manpower shortage problem, that they require a robot that works outside the manufacturing setup. You know? So this is a new area that where we need to able to introduce a suitable robot and automation solutions in order to address the problems at other sectors than industry, like the service sectors, in like the medical and healthcare, like at the plantation and so on. So this is a similar important industry, and I think manufacturing is doing very well in Japan, but for service robotics, we can address so many problems in Japan as well.
So how are you planning to expand in Japan?
Yeah, we actually being invested recently by a Japanese corporate VC, and we also have taken a step ahead by acquiring one deep tech company in Japan. So this is our strategy to enter Japanese market. And personally, I'm also actually graduated my PhD in Nagoya University, and I stayed in Nagoya for 5 years, in Japan for a total like 12 years. So I love Japan very much, and I love to come back and start my business here.
Yeah, so this must be great for you to be back in Nagoya.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. So next I'm going to turn to Sarah. Can you tell us a little bit about the fintech and payments challenges in Indonesia and Southeast Asia?
Thanks, Rochelle. Yes, so we started in our home country of Indonesia, and there, actually 76% of adults don't really use bank accounts. So you can imagine just how hard it is to make any kind of payments to them, because then it has to be made physically in person, like carrying cash, or if donations in goods, it's carrying goods. So you can imagine the difficulty when COVID hit. There's so many people that needed help, but you can't move anywhere. But that's where actually we grew 13 times during and the first onset of COVID, because we solved that problem. Because with our system, we actually distributed millions of dollars to the most remote places by actually empowering the local community and using our app. All of these users, tens and thousands of families, simply they needed to go to their local store, show their face, and shop. As simple as that. So, yeah.
Well, you know, in Japanese, there's this word, kaopasu. It sounds like you're making a digital version of the kaopasu.
Exactly. So I'm so happy when I heard about that, because like, yeah, that's it.
How funny. So, but what about Japan? Almost everyone in Japan has a bank account. Why is your service needed here?
I was also very surprised. I was like, we were looking at the unbanked, bottom of the pyramid, not technologically savvy. Japan was nowhere on our radar. But then it turns out that we were actually contacted by a Japanese company and said, no, we need you in Japan because we have a lot of problems with the elderly. We would like to service them better, but it is very difficult because they don't really use apps or smartphones, and they are far from the bank, so how do we do it? And when they heard us, that's it, that's what we need. And so now, we're actually doing that, and we're going to be launching next week in Ikata in Ehime Prefecture.
Exciting, exciting. So let's turn for a moment here, and I want to hear from Jae-min. And can you tell us a little bit more about dementia and what you're doing about that? We know there's no cure, so how can your company help?
Sure. Let's do a little bit of exercise here. Let's all imagine that we're 85 years old, even though we're not. Look to your left and look to your right. 1 out of 3 of you will have dementia by that age. You might be thinking, oh, I'm a really lucky guy and it's not going to happen to me ever, right? But the chances are you might be then a caregiver of a dementia patient. Like that, dementia is everywhere, it's near us, it's going to happen to us. And especially in Japan, the biggest barrier to dementia care is that older adults do not simply want to go see a doctor. And let alone, they don't really want to go through complex tests or even prevention activities. This is because they fear learning that they might have dementia, which in Japan is nothing but a social death sentence.
So what does your solution do to help with that? Sounds kind of grim.
Right, right. So our mobile app carefully packaged this diagnostic and the prevention pieces into fun and engaging activities. These activities include cognitive assessments, cognitive trainings, and lifestyle modifications. I'll tell you more about these 3. So cognitive assessments, through our regular cognitive assessment using our speech-based monitoring AI, we detect their performance over time and changes so that we can do timely intervention. And based on their performance, we create a program, personalized program, where we provide cognitive trainings, and these cognitive trainings are based on 5 cognitive domains: attention, memory, executive function, visual spatial function, and language. And not only just cognitive trainings, but we also provide lifestyle modifications, which is very crucial to dementia prevention. These lifestyle modifications include physical activities, diet and nutrition, and because our app is mostly used by elderly people, all of this are tailored to elderly needs and UX.
Wow, sounds really great. Okay, very good. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit more about the applications of these technologies. So we're going to start with Hana. Can you tell me a little bit about the proof of concept that you did recently in a hospital?
Yeah, we did 1 month proof of concept in government hospitals where we automate some of the process in the hospitals with the objective to reduce the workloads of nurses and also medical doctors. And surprisingly, we found that one nurse eventually walks about 42 kilometers in 1 month.
Wait 1 second, 42 kilometers?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Just to deliver a sample from emergency department to the lab. So this is like running a marathon, you know. So another interesting factor, we found that one robot eventually can replace about a job that can be done like 4 nurses just to do the simple delivery. So, you know, this is actually very surprising, and we are able to prove that these robotic automations are able to let the nurses and doctors to focus more on the patient care, where the low creation jobs can be done by robots and automations.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense for a highly skilled, trained, valuable nurse, scarce nurse, to be spending time with the patient rather than walking things back and forth with the lab.
Eventually, yes, it's true, it's true.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for Dr. Hana. So,
Yes, sir.
Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, so Dr. Hana, I mean, after this POC, what was like your biggest learning?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention just now, actually, to reduce the workload of the nurses and doctors actually will lead to increase the efficiency of the hospital operations. So this is actually very important for any medical hospitals to increase their patient cares and also to improve the efficiency, because the healthcare service is very important for any countries. So in order to do that, we need some sort of smart hospital concept that we need to prove that in numbers. So by doing this POC, actually we're able to come up with the numbers that the efficiency rate eventually raised up to 68% by using a robot and automations. And this definitely will enable the administration of the hospital to work towards automating the hospital to increase the efficiency of the hospitals and improve their patient care as well. Yeah.
68%. Yeah, great. Okay, well, Sarah, you mentioned a moment ago that you've got a proof of concept coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you. I'm very excited because it's next week. So wish us luck. Our client is the government of Ikata, which is a town in the Ehime prefecture. And so when generally in Japan, 1 in 3 are elderly. In Ikata, it's 1 in 2 that are elderly. So they have this real issue. And they want to provide services, but it's very difficult. How do you do it with the elderly? But with our system now, the elderly of Ikata, well, no, not now, next week, the elderly of Ikata will be able to simply just show their face to ride the bus, show their face to go to the onsen, show their face to go to the communal dining area and even to shop without bringing anything. No app, no card, no nothing, just their face.
So what kind of partners are you looking for to help you spread this technology?
Thank you for asking. That is really important for us because like right now, it's one town in Ehime Prefecture. But what I'm really hoping is that this will become the first of many. And hopefully then starting in Aichi, that we'll have more city governments or town governments that would like to work with us. And after that, then throughout Japan, we would love to work with that. And number 2 is to enable this, as I mentioned before, we'd also love to get investors who are interested in joining our mission. Thank you.
Terrific. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I actually have a follow-up question because I'm personally very interested in these kind of POCs, and I was wondering. So I see the benefits of the users, like especially the elderly, but why are the governments interested in this kind of technology?
Yeah, because for the governments, what they want to ensure is that their citizens actually get services.
Right.
So previously, they could do either one of two. They would transfer the money, but then it was very difficult because even though they transferred the money, the elderly is very difficult to reach, and especially in the rural area like Ikata, to reach the bank. So what they have to do is they have to wait until their children or grandchildren come and ask, son, could you please go take my money in the bank? And until their son or daughter comes, they have no access to the services. And then so with this, there's no need because they don't need the cash. All they need is just access to these services, and that's what we enable because your face is already pre-distributed and ready to use. Thank you.
Very cool, very cool. So I've got a question for Jae-min. My mother is 85 years old, and she's very sharp, but I'd like her to stay that way. And so I'm thinking I'm going to be visiting her next month, and I'm going to get your app for her. I'm curious, how do you find your users? Are they people like me who buy them for their parents, or do people buy them for themselves, or do their doctors recommend it? How's that work?
So I think I can first answer this question by telling a personal story. Many of my co-founder and I, including also many of our team members, have dementia patients in their family. And we have started this company because we felt frustrated. Like, we felt frustrated that we couldn't do anything. So actually, many of our users, their caregivers, actually download the app for their parents and yes. And also, we also have care centers who subscribe to our program in order to provide our program to their customers. But also, let's not forget there are many, many organic users who have downloaded the app themselves to take care of their brain health. But no matter what the channel they come from, like no matter their age, no matter their sex, like people love our app. We can see that the average daily usage of our app is over 25 minutes, and more than 70% of our customers stay using our app after 1 week. And this is because our team works very, very hard, and we do a lot of research and everything. But we also feel that our customers are feeling the need. They're self-motivated in using our app.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So actually, I got very, very interesting apps. And, in Japan, there's also a lot of dementia patients.
Right,
But you
correct.
plan, enrolling your solution in Japan.
So we're currently located in Korea and the US mostly. And I want to say this, like all of you guys who have experience making products, you would know that users are very, very different. Like it could be their age, it could be like anything. And what we realize, especially we're targeting elderly users, we do a lot of UX research and like all the research we can do, clinical trials and everything. And what we're looking for right now is proof of concept and also user research in Japan. Because during this program, I visited a lot of daycare centers, especially for the elderly. And what I've realized is that some elderly here in Japan are not even used to using a smartphone. Like in Korea, more than like 90% of the 60s plus know how to use a smartphone and they're very used to it. Stuff like that is very different from user to user, country to country. So we're looking for opportunities. It can be governments, it could be corporates, it can be hospitals, care centers. We're open to all, and we'll be over there at the booth. Thank you.
Okay, great. So time for my last question to all of you. I'd like you each to tell me, why is it important to you personally to be here in Japan providing solutions in Japan? And I'll start out with Hana.
Okay, actually, for service robotics, Japan is a huge market. We know that Japan is quite advanced in industrial robots, but the service robotics, actually, there's a lot of application can be applied in Japan. And this opportunity, even I'm quite excited when I came back after the Corona, after 2 years, I came back to Japan and I found that not so many service robots being used in Japan. So meaning this is a big opportunity for us, and we can help, many industries like service, like cleaning industries to automate their process, to make things, works more automatics and so on. And personally also, actually, because I've been living in Japan for a long time, and I've been also living in Nagoya in particular, I love to come back and start my business here. And being successful in Japan is very important for us because we have our plan to launch our IPO in Japan, in Tokyo Stock Exchange, and we have 5 years plan to do that. And this is actually very important for us to be success in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. It sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Jimin, how about you?
Well, as Sarah mentioned, Japan is one of the fastest aging countries in the world, with over 30% of the population aged over 65 years old. And also, there's so many, tech buzzwords today. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone tried ChatGPT, and there's like AI, even digital health. But let's not forget, the elderly are left out of this whole, buzzword and tech. And Silvia Health, we are trying to solve the problem of dementia. But more importantly, we want to close the digital gap. And we are very successful in Korea, and we think if we succeed in Japan, we can go global, and Japan is the next step for us.
Very exciting. And Sarah, how about you?
Thank you. For us, Japan holds a special place in our hearts because this is the first country we're expanding to outside of Indonesia. And Japan really opened our eyes. We were thinking bottom of the pyramid, unbanked, and then we'd never realized that there would actually be a need for us in a developed country such as Japan. So it's really eye-opening for us, and also seeing that there's so much opportunity because, as Jamin said, the elderly are just growing in population, and I'm hoping that we would be able to become a solution for a problem that touches so many people here in Japan. So wish us luck.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so let's give a big hand to these startups. Very interesting. Okay, well, thanks so much. The great insights, really fascinating what all of you are doing. So let's end the panel now. Thank you so much. So now I'd like to hand it over to Tyson Bettino. He's this other resident mentor for our program this year, and he's going to be moderating a panel on working smarter, smarter work. So let's hand it over to Tyson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rochelle, for the nice introduction. So smart work is an important topic in 2023. We've all heard of digital transformation, AI, and now ChatGPT. Sorry, ChatGPT. And we have 4 leaders here today who are experts in the smart workspace. They've helped small to medium-sized enterprises, billion-dollar corporations, and even government agencies. Let's learn more about smart work today and how they can help Aichi. First off, we have Jin Shui, CEO of Crescendo Lab. Next, we have Mark Wu, CEO of Head of Sales for Profit AI. Third, we have Camila Hankovich, CEO of Untried. And last, we have Ilya Zelenkis, CEO of Viscal. Woo! Please have a seat. Thank you very much, and I look forward to learning how to work smarter. Definitely needed. No, I'm just kidding. And I would like to learn more about all of you. And Ilya, could you please tell us more about yourself?
Yes, with pleasure. Good evening, everyone. And I think nobody in this room really likes to do paperwork. So after 10 years working in a big company, I really hate doing that. So the question that always popped up in my head is why it is not still automated. Well, it turns out that it's just too technical. Even for a simple thing like an invoice, you need an army of developers. And that's why we built BitScout, a platform that your employees can use by themselves and extract all the important information from your paper and digital documents into your software. Our first trial in Japan took to set up only 30 minutes and 1 Zoom call, and our platform understands Japanese. So if you want to say sayonara to your receipts, find me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, Camila.
Konbanwa, and I'm Camila from Untried, and we are a London-based company, so not so far from Dublin. We enjoy lots of Guinness there as well. We help large organizations and governments to understand their data automatically. For example, one of our customers has more than 200 different computer systems. Imagine all the admin nightmare when you're trying to find something from different departments. It's a real tie hen. So we pull all the relevant information into one place to help people to make decisions faster and more effective. So if you've ever felt lost in data chaos and you're trying to improve your customer experience, let us help. Arigato.
Thank you very much. And Mark.
Thank you, Tyson. Is your company struggling with digital transformation? I'm Mark from Profit AI. We provide easy-to-use data analysis tool for everybody in the manufacturing industry. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, we already help more than 100 companies in Taiwan, including the largest lens supplier of iPhone. With our AI software, you can improve your product efficiency by 70% in just 1 week. So come to me, I will show you how. 日本語喋れるから心配しないで。
Oh, wow. すごいですね。Next, Jin.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't speak any Japanese.
But you're still very awesome.
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Jin, the CEO and founder of Crescendo Lab. So people nowadays spending more time on messaging apps other than other social platforms. So if you're doing marketing, you should spend the marketing budget on the place where people spend the most time on. So with our solutions, we're able to help brands to collect user data, unify those data, and activate those data on messaging apps to increase your user values and engagements. So right now, we've been working with over 500 brands, and sending out over 4 billion messages per year. So if you want to reach out those users effectively, come talk to us afterwards. Thanks.
Hey, thank you very much, Jin. So we hear a lot about smart work, and if any of you have a boss, you've probably heard about that from your boss. But I'm curious what smart work means to all of you. And I'll start with Ilya.
Yeah. Well, actually, smart work to me means applying intelligence to solve a problem. For example, to help a customer locate a shipment or innovate in a product feature. Now, what I've seen is a 6-man team receiving paper utility bills and typing this information into a spreadsheet.
Really?
Yes. I don't think that that's considered smart.
Wait.
Of course, we automated them, but
six
men,
people,
6 people.
just to input data.
Yes, just type in data.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Sounds like a lot, not a lot of
Lost
fun.
money.
Yeah, but that is not applying intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Exactly, that's what people are not good for, right? It's the job of computers. People are not meant to sit in front of computer and put data in spreadsheets. So what we work with large organizations with very complex data. We work in private sector. We work with manufacturing and engineering companies, and in public sector we work with the UK police. So imagine that a large organization has lots of data. Often you have different departments in different countries. You have different formats, different languages. So if you've ever tried to ask something to another department, you know how painful it is.
Yeah, and you said some of them actually have 200 computer systems?
Exactly. So with humans, like without using technology, you are not able to work smart, as you said. You just have to do it if you want to innovate.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 200 systems that, don't work together, it's not too smart to me. But no, it's really cool that you can take the data from all those places and put it together.
Yeah.
And how about yourself, Mark?
Yeah. For me, that smart work means you do nothing on your work. Why? let me speak. Okay, hear me say. So, because you already taken all the necessary actions before it happens. So imagine like in the factory. Now we have every factory has a Kanban system. So they show green light, yellow light, red light. So if something wrong, you have to fix it. But imagine if you have a quality prediction model that show you this batch is going to be fail. So you can take action in later stage of the production to change the parameters to improve the quality. So eventually the product will become good product, not the failed products. So you don't need to spend time to fix the product, and your salespeople don't need to spend time to call the customer, say, oh, sorry, this batch is going to be delayed, something like that. So that means you can do things before it really happens. That's smart work.
Gotcha. And in your experience, though, how much time have you actually saved companies from launching a new product?
Yeah, depends on different scenario, but generally speaking, in our case, like our customer usually save like from 17 to 50 different times they can save.
How would that relate in maybe weeks or months?
Yeah, for example, for the new product launch process, like before that in the manufacturing industry right now, they are doing like try and error. They do some pilot run, see the result, and then change the parameter, do that again. So with the AI, with the machine learning, they can use the past data set to build a prediction model and provide some parameter recommendations. So using the parameter recommendation data, they can do the NPI process from like 3 weeks to like 1 week.
Cool, that's pretty impressive. And how about yourself, Jin?
Yeah, so we are in a different industry. So in the marketing industry, I think smart work means you have to be effective and efficient. So the whole marketing, the whole idea is that you want to market to the people, to the right people with the right time, with the right channels, right? So like everyone is using messaging apps, and if you're online, right, so you should able to reach out to those person in a more effective ways. So this is my definition of smart work in the marketing world. And how do you market to those people with the right content, right? The first thing is you need to have a system in place to really manage those people's and their data in your system. because it used to be like it used to be like brand that relies on the third-party world, like Facebook and Google. They're trying to advertise those people on those platforms. But right now, it's not really working right now. So you really need a system that stores those data by yourselves, and then you can start talking to those people in a more personalized way. So that's my definition of smart work in the marketing world.
And what marketing channels can we use your software to help make more effective?
So the idea that we want to do is we want to be the communication bridge between the brands and the users. And we believe that the messaging app is the most dominant way, the most dominant platform for reaching out users. Either you can use EDM or emails or like other platforms, but we still believe that the social messaging apps is the most important ways of reaching out those people.
What is EDM?
EDM, like email marketing. You send out like spam emails to those people that people would never respond it anymore.
I didn't know what EDM is, so yeah, I had to figure it out.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting topic that Jin mentioned about efficiency. And I think one of the challenges that we see in our space, especially automating paperwork, it's always associated with headcount reduction. And I know that's not really the case. So if I continue the example that I made with this retailer, those 6 people were relocated into customer service department. They were not fired because it's a very valuable employees for the company. And instead of wasting their time and resources in a basement typing data, they were moved to help customers to answer calls that allowed this retailer increase their customer satisfaction. And I think that's all about it. So we need to use AI as a helper tool. It's not an enemy. It's not taking anything from us. It allows us to reconstruct the way we work and the way we deliver operations. I think the efficiency part is extremely important in that sense as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because in Japan, customer service is very important. And if you can move people away from inputting data into a spreadsheet to actually helping customers, which Japan is really great for, it could even make Japanese customer service even better. But Camilla.
Yes, but we hear all those problems, right? But if you think about it, it's never really a technology problem, right? Technology is just a tool. It's usually the people. People are by default resistant to change. And
that's what my wife says all the time.
Mine as well.
Well, I won't comment on that. So yes, so people are resistant to change, but we can, with technology, you can, oh, actually no, let's think about the Japanese market. Japanese companies have been innovating in hardware for many, many years. But for some reason, you've been lacking in software. So if you are not really going to utilize what tech offers and join it and bridge it with people to make their lives easier, then you will be left behind. The competition will take over. So that's my point, actually.
But Camilla, I did hear of one pretty cool use case for Untrite, and that's when a big corporation buys another corporation, obviously they use different systems.
Yes.
But how can you help with that process?
Yes, so that's one of the main things we see that large organizations collected a lot of data over the years. There are lots of systems from 80s, 90s that they don't talk to each other. So there is lots of repetitive work, lots of reinventing the wheel. So with joining everything together by helping people to get overview of what the company really has, and there's a lot of value, right? You can innovate, you can reduce your costs, and like Ilya mentioned, you are not replacing humans, you are augmenting them, you are making them just more efficient.
Cool, thank you for sharing that. And Mark, so your company helps manufacturers.
Yeah.
One use case is let's say, produce things faster.
Yeah.
But what are some other challenges
Yeah.
manufacturers are facing?
Yeah, I think Japan is pretty similar to Taiwan. We are facing the aging society. So in the manufacturing industry, actually the biggest challenge is for those experienced workers, they are retiring. So how to preserve their skill, their know-how, become a headache to all these executive levels in the manufacturing industry. So that's why we bring this solution to the manufacturing industry. We help these people to use the data they have. And for those skilled workers, these experienced workers, they know what feature to select to make the right prediction model. So by using this model, you can preserve their knowledge, their know-how inside the company database. So for any new coming employees or younger generation, when they join this group, they can check the model and see, okay, in my process, I know which features are really important because the skilled worker use them to build the models. So by doing so, they can try to keep the experienced workers' knowledge.
Gotcha. So what I took from that is my common complaint is I always want to duplicate myself so I can make my company more effective. So maybe I'll go to you in the future.
Yeah.
I can make the ultimate company of just me. But sorry for Jin. What are some challenges that marketers face?
In the marketing industry, I mean, the challenge is always the same. Like, it's very costly to get the new users, right? But once you get the new users, and then you acquire those users, you want to talk to them like in a more personalization way because you want to increase their users' values. So like there's some companies that are doing things like CRM and sort of stuff that they can engage with the user in a more things with the data help. And
what is CRM?
CRM is a customer relationship management tool that you can store the user data in your system. So with our solutions, basically what we can do is we can help those people to predict what is the best time to send in out the message. And we can also help them to decide which audience is the right audience to talk to. And we also do a little bit product recommendation to those people. So with these AI tools that we can essentially help those marketers to make better decisions within their marketing operation and automation process.
So what is the best time to send a message?
It depends, right? Some people really open up the message in the morning. Some people, they open up their message after work. So it really depends on the data you store, and you analyze the data and decide it by the machine and let them to decide for you.
Cool. No, that's very cool, I think. And next, Jin, I'd like to ask you, why Japan? Why now?
Yeah, so for us, right, so we're building solutions around Line. So Line is pretty big in Taiwan, Thailand, and Japan. So we have offices in Taiwan, Thailand, and Japan already. And we've been working with so many brands in Taiwan and even some of the very famous Japanese brands like Rakuten, Family Marts, and Nitori. So we even have some inquiries from Japanese brands trying to use our solutions. So it's very obvious and a natural decision for us to come over from Taiwan to Japan and trying to introduce our solutions into the Japanese market.
Cool. In addition to, sending messages at the right time,
right?
What are some other solutions that you help with?
So, I mean, that's mostly what we do. But, but we also help them to do a little bit data integration, like Camila just mentioned. It's also like you're having so many systems in place, and the system, they are not talking with each other, right? So if you're using like a big system like Salesforce, and you can also integrate our solution with them, you can have a holistic user profiles for better decision in your marketing department.
Cool. That's very cool.
I mean, think about this for a second, what Jin said. I think it's not only important for you to be efficient in your marketing and also to send the right message. You also have to be a little bit faster than the competition. And that is an important thing, and it's why now. Now, we already heard in the previous panel mentioned ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is a great reminder to us that AI is ready for the prime time. It's here, it's ready, and it's working, and now it has interfaces that allow you to set it up without being a data scientist. And I think you should ask yourself also a question: what will happen to your company if you can do things twice faster than you're doing them today? And what will happen if you do it 10 times faster? That is the impact of AI on operations. Again and again, we are talking about AI helping us, and that is precisely what it does, helping us to be more efficient and fast, and etc.
So you said that it's easier to implement now. So let's say I don't consider myself a technical person. I'll just hire someone technical, but I know how to use a spreadsheet. Can someone like me use AI tools?
Definitely, and that is, like for instance, we had a Zoom call with your accountant, and it took us 30 minutes to set up extracting data from his invoice. And he was pretty happy because now he realized that he doesn't have to do that. But I think Mark has much better use case than our automation of paperwork because it's really 30 minutes.
I wouldn't say it's better, because if you can save my accountant money, I can make him charge me less. So it's very important. For me, it's the most important thing right now. But,
yes.
But yeah, Mark, how about yourself?
Yeah. So there's an invisible bond between Taiwan and Japan. So we see each other like brothers. So while we success in Taiwan, we definitely want to bring such market intelligence to benefit the Japanese manufacturing industry. So it's like you found something good you want to share with your brothers. So per our experience in Taiwan, our customer is actually doing data analysis by every department, every employees. But furthermore, it's more important for them is for the company cultural change. Because when you give your employee an easy-to-use tool, they can do data analysis by themselves, then digital transformation become my thing, not some people else things. So they will start to think about, I want more data. So they will think about where I can get the data. So the whole company will transform to the data-driven culture. That's what exactly the digital transformation wants.
But for me, like when I think manufacturing AI, it seems pretty complicated. But is your tool actually easy to implement?
Yeah, as long as you can use Excel, you can use our tool, for sure.
Okay, that's good to know. And Camilla?
Yeah, it's like Marcus or Ilya pointed out, right now AI is really, it's not technology, right? It's like you have lots of solutions that are no code, and ChatGPT is finally showing many people, non-technical people, that you can eliminate noise and find what you get the solution almost immediately. So for us as a UK company, Japanese market is very, very exciting because finally Japanese companies are realizing that digital transformation is very, very important. Japanese companies have lots of data, and they know that there is a hidden value in it. So we've been going through similar challenges like aging population, supply chain disruption. And I know that Japanese government is pushing Japanese companies to bring back production into Japan from China and from other countries. So this demands knowledge transfer and know-how of what you actually have within the company, right? And this is what we feel our technology can help with.
Cool, yeah, and I think like companies like Hitachi, Panasonic, they have tons of companies.
Oh, yes.
And
imagine
so
if you could find that another companies worked on similar project and they can just collaborate.
Yes, and I think that's really cool. And Jin.
Here. Yes. What was the question?
Oh. Why Japan?
Yeah.
Why Japan?
I think I talked a little
bit. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. I think technology evolves very quickly. So I think it's not like we're trying to, you have to keep your core competence in your business. However, it's really important to really understand how technology works and how technology can really help you on the business.
Yep. Thank you very much. And thank you all for sharing the benefits of AI and how it can lead to smarter work. And so everyone here, you must have a lot of questions about what's possible with AI, but probably how can you actually implement AI in your organization is actually the tough question. And you have 4 experts here who has helped launch SmartWorth AI initiatives for large corporations, government agencies, and even medium-sized corporations. And here's your chance, Aichi, to talk with these experts, and they'll be over there. Thank you so much.
Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Tyson, for leading a really interesting panel. It definitely underscored for me how important digital transformation, or DX, is, and how it's really the next step in our work life. And thank you to all the startups for all your great sharing. For our last panel, we're going to be looking at sustainable futures and how our startups are contributing to that. So I'm going to have Yiling Lim come back again. She's the Executive Director for Market Launch for 500 Global. Take it away, Yiling.
Hi, everyone, again. So all night, we've been hearing from smart city, smart hospitals to AI about solutions that serve humanity. But I think it would be amiss to not talk about humanity's role in building a more sustainable future, in sustaining our resources. How can we use technology to really build a more sustainable future? I'm really honored today to be moderating our 4th panel, Sustainable Future, and to be joined by 3 startups. And these are 3 companies. One, that reduces excess inventory through liquidation process. A company that reduces carbon emission through metal 3D printing. And a company that reduces paper usage through blockchain technology. Please join me in welcoming my fellow panelists. First up, we have Jeff Hu, CEO and founder of Turing Certs. Liana Sulaiman, CPO and co-founder of Poland Technology, and Alexandra Dilitza, CEO and founder of 3DK Tech. Please.
First off, if I may. It's Alexandru, not Alexandra.
Okay, Alexandru Dilitza,
Yeah.
like pizza.
Pizza,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll remember that next time. Thanks, Alex. That's probably easier.
Better.
Well, I'm really, really honored and glad to be hosting this panel. And given that we're currently, an hour and a half into all this panel discussion, so let's keep it fun, more casual, right, and exciting. Okay? Maybe we'll start off with the excitement by having Alex share a little bit more about 3DK Tech.
Oh, yeah, sure, thanks. So, metal 3D printing can really help reduce manufacturing time, costs, and CO2 emissions by a factor of 10 times. So why are we still using conventional manufacturing? That question has really been bothering me. So much so that I've spent the last 10 years getting a PhD, trying to find what the core problem was and patenting the solution to that problem. And I'm happy to say it's here and it's working. Hi, I'm Alex, and I founded 3DK Tech to really replace conventional manufacturing. We've already started getting adoption from the aviation industry with Cathay Pacific, the mobility industry with MTR, and the semiconductor industry of all industries with Nexperia. So if you are sick of delays and you want to speed up your next product deployment, please hit me up. The future is now.
Thanks, Alex. Liana, can we have you share more about Poland Tech?
much waste from factories is either burned or thrown away in landfills. Konbawa, I'm Liana, co-founder of Holland. In 2022, last year, we helped global MNC customers like Unilever and L'Oreal sell over 2 million units of unsold products. These unsold products which are going to become business waste. So using our international marketplace and our liquidation management system, we want to help manufacturers here in Aichi that we have met, like Kokusai Denyo and Taihei Tires, to reduce their business waste and hopefully meet their SDG goals too. So if you're interested in our zero waste world and working towards a sustainable future, come and talk to us later. Thank you.
Last but not least, Jeff.
Yes, this is a proven education. University issue it and corporate issue it. It usually requires 4 people for 6 weeks to issue just one. I'm Jeff. I'm the CEO and founder of Turing Certs. We are a global identity platform that issue paperless micro-credentials. We can reduce this to only 1 person for 15 minutes. And we've done that for 150 universities, governments, enterprises, including UC Berkeley Law School, including WHO, Line, that use our technology to provide this kind of paperless micro-credentials. We are backed by Morgan Stanley CEO and former Google CEO Taiwan. That's made certificates secure, verifiable, and paperless. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the introduction. Alex, I heard you say that your technology and metal 3D printing actually can reduce not just time and cost, but also carbon emissions by 10 times. Can you share a bit more?
Oh yeah, sure. Actually, all 3 problems are solved by the same solution, metal 3D printing. So to give you a little bit of background, when you make something, anything, you have to manufacture it. And there's a bunch of manufacturing steps, each step with its own cost, time, and CO2 emissions. What you can do with 3D printing is replace all of those with just one step, printing. So you can go from your computer, your file, to an end product within a few days instead of having to wait a few years to actually have it manufactured. And I'll do you one better. There's, we're in Aichi, Toyota's here. A car is made out of 30,000 parts. You can make the same car out of 300 parts. So you can reduce each individual part by 10 times, cost and time, and the whole car by another 100 times.
That sounds very compelling and interesting. So I think my question for you is, why aren't more companies using that and hopefully reduce costs for consumers as well?
I mean, that's the whole plan. But that's a very good question. Honestly, it's a question that has bothered me for years. And it was the topic of my PhD. Basically, the answer is quite straightforward. It's quality. The quality wasn't there. So when you 3D print something before, you would not be able to pass like safety regulations and all of that. So this is where we come in. Our patented technology actually improves the durability of 3D printed parts by a factor of 200 times. That brings it on par or even exceeds conventional manufacturing, the durability and quality achieved through conventional manufacturing. So there's a few other reasons, but this is the major one. Like 80% of contribution is this.
It sounds like you've solved that.
Yeah.
Liana, now, as a user, active user of a lot of consumer products, I do want to ask you, how big is really this issue of excess inventory? And on the second thought, I mean, liquidation processes doesn't seem like it's something new and revolutionary. So please tell me and tell the audience, right, how does Poland do it differently and better?
I think if we were to use Alex technology, we probably can resolve the business waste issue faster and before 2030. But in reality, this is not the case. That's why we exist. So in Japan alone, there is an estimated of 22 trillion yen's worth of business waste. And from our larger customers, about 10 to 20% of their total inventory are slow-moving or excess inventory products. If unsold, becomes business waste. If that's not an appalling statistic, I don't know what is, right? So before Poland manufacturers and retailers, the way they deal with liquidation is already online. It's very tedious, and there's no visibility, right? And there's no record. We help solve this problem by helping manufacturers sell their unsold products online and privately, and also using that sales data to track the environmental impact, because otherwise, this is going to be business waste, right? But you save the business waste. So I think it's really important for us to also share a case study by one of our customers who have an oversupply of their body soap. You know, you're familiar, everyone in the crowd, you use body soap, right? So manufacturers produce many kinds of body soap, different flavors and whatever. So in one market, there's an oversupply. When they work with us, we give them the right buyer, the right price. They were able to clear because they wouldn't be able to do that by themselves because it's not easy for them to get access to verified buyers. And because they don't want to saturate the domestic markets. So we are solving a problem by giving them options so that these answer products don't become business waste. I think no one wants to waste a good thing.
So you're actually helping them open up new market, but really by reducing and removing their business waste.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Wow, okay. Jeff?
Yes.
For you, we're on the topic of sustainability, right? And you held up that paper
Right
cert
here.
earlier on. So I must ask, I mean, did you start Turing certs because you just wanted to reduce paper usage? Are you a tree hugger?
So people might ask, like, do we do Turing certs only to save paper? Is that the only goal we want to do? But actually, that's only the first step. So you know, like, I think in 21st century, people rely too heavily on paper. Paper is too fragile, right? You can easily tear it out. It's not for long storage. You cannot put it out there for 15 years. It will get destroyed easily. You cannot easily send the paper across the sea, for example, to California, within a flick of a finger, right? So it's not a very good way for people to store information, especially very valuable information. So what we want to do is we want to digitalize the way people store and transport information. But if we just make it ePDF, everyone right here knows how to fake a PDF by using Canva, Adobe, right? Editor, 15 seconds, we can change the diploma name to our name any places. So it happened everywhere in the world. So what we want to do for the first step is actually digitize things and then put an e-stamp on each of the documents. So all the document can be easily authenticated. All the information are true and easily validated. So that's the thing we are doing for the first step for Turing sets. Yeah.
Can I add something? As you're talking, it just occurs to me that your application would be perfect, especially in locations that are going to be affected by rising water levels and also typhoons and you know, flooding. A lot of people lose their birth certificates and all of these documents that are important for them to move on with their lives. That is so cool.
That's right. That's actually come to the final vision, the end game that Turing Search want to reach out to. So the final thing we want to do is to create a global identity that is across ocean, that connect governments, connect countries and people. So imagine like when you give birth to the your first certificate is your birth certificate, right? And throughout your entire lifetime, you have so many achievements. So you have your proof of education, you have your proof of employment, and all your financial data, healthcare data, everything they are just scattered around, right? It's not easy for you to find any one of them. It's not in your drawer, it's just out there in places. Can you put every single one of your life document into just one ID cards? Or maybe we don't need ID cards in 21st century. It can be on your fingerprint. Fingertips, your papel, it's your face, right? The technology the previous founder just mentioned. So you make yourself a portable identity no matter where you go. You can unlock services that need KYC. You can prove your identity, and you don't need to have luggage to bring so many documents with you, right? To get a visa will be super easy. So I think that's a final goal what Turing want to do. We want to build identity across the entire Earth. And that's the goal for our company.
Right.
Yeah.
I also totally agree with Jeff's application because even in online liquidation these days, if you compare with traditional liquidation, you deal with a lot of paper,
Yes.
including all the custom docs clearance and the MSDS files of all the documents for moving inventories from one country to another country. It's a mess. So yeah, definitely need to digitize even supply chain.
That's right.
I love your vision. That reminds me of this Netflix movie that I watched called Altered Carbon, where everything is downloaded into a disk and then you put it in your bag. So maybe that's not so much science fiction.
We need to do it in a good way.
Yeah.
Good way.
The other thing as well, another use case I just thought of is actually for investors. We'll know exactly all our founders from birth to now.
That's right.
Wow. That's scary.
That would be like a more comprehensive Twitter.
Better one. Okay, now, since we're on the topic again of sustainability, and you all have actually experienced working with a lot of corporates, enterprises, institutions, I do have to ask this, and maybe we'll start with you, Liana, right? You work with a lot of the large CPG brands itself. Now, obviously, they do care about their excess inventory and reducing that and earning extra revenue in the meantime. But do they really understand their impact on Earth, on resources, and how much do they actually really care about sustainability?
Well, firstly, I can say that there are two angles to sustainability. First is cost recovery, definitely, right, financial standpoint. Second is about your environmental impact, right, how much resources you're using and making profit off that. So the MNC companies, manufacturers we work with, definitely cost recovery is the driving force behind the liquidation strategy. Imagine you produce so much things, products, right, and you're hoping that you can capitalize, monetize it. And then it becomes, unsold products. And then business waste, you have to pay money to clear the business waste from your warehouses. That is not a good scenario for the finance team. So definitely, they want to also present themselves in the best light possible. Now with the trend of ESG reporting, they care a lot about the brand image. They care a lot about the brand protection, which is why we need to sell, even when you clear down some products privately, right? So then again, selling is definitely one of the ways, donations another to increase, to boost their reputation as brands who care for environment and not throwing something that can still be used. No one wants to be seen as wasteful.
I think it's amazing how you're helping all these brands go from being afraid of their wastage and data being leaked out to actually actively reducing that wastage itself and providing them with reporting, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. I forgot to mention that. The data of unsold products becoming business waste is a particularly sensitive one, right? This is not something that they will easily reveal or share. But the problem exists. So therefore, fixing the problem of unsold products from becoming business waste will definitely naturally fix their brand image, right? We're not doing any greenwashing here. They need help with digitizing the supply chain, managing their end of product life cycle. So we have those data, like where does waste goes to, and what is being done from preventing it from becoming waste. So that will certainly help with the ESG reporting in terms of the raw data that we're able to provide.
On the topic of data and verifiable, Jeff, what about you? You've also worked with a lot of enterprises from Line to many, many others, right? In your experience, do these enterprises really care about sustainability?
Yeah, I think in the current century, like all the corporate, they are finding a new way, not only to monetize by the product, they also find a way to save the earth by sustainability purposes. So we do many things for enterprise to add things to their ESG reports. For example, there's a large company in Taiwan who actually do a lot of volunteer activities, right? So they send out their employee to rural places, and then they go for farming, and then they're all like corp production, their time spent, they want to put everything into a record. So that's why we use blockchain technology to certify all the activities they have like contributed to these activities. So they can make the entire package of record a verifiable things and add it into their ESG report. So Liana could kind of become our data source. We become the authenticator who provide a digital certificate, and then everything can be aggregated to their ESG report for a higher value, higher score that investor will be favored about that company. So that's one example. Another thing that we can also add value is, you might heard of a company called Dun & Bradstreet. DNB, they're a 100-year US company. So what they do is they audit the other company and provide ESG reporting for that companies. And they face some problem. For example, when they give out those ESG report to the company, they are afraid of someone in between might change the content, right? We change 20% to 10%, no one knows, right? So how to make all the report immutable, right? We believe everyone is honest, but we need to do a lot of these things to make sure technology can save the integrity of the report. That's the first thing. The second thing is company who owns the reports has the right to determine who can view what part of the report. So confidential data are protected. They can have higher control of the accessibility of their report. So that's the two things we do for ESG reports. One is for accessibility, and the other one is for security of the report. Yeah.
Jeff, I can hear the excitement in you.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, but let's slow down a little bit. I feel anxious just listening to how fast you speak. Okay, let's slow down a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mission to save a lot
I
of
know.
companies.
Oh, wow. Now, we've heard a lot of optimism coming out from these two speakers. Alex, I do want to ask you a more difficult one, which is we've again heard a lot of the term greenwashing, and you work with a lot of large, more traditional companies, especially automobile manufacturing. Let me ask you this. For those who don't quite yet believe in the importance of sustainability, why should companies care?
Ooh, I'll start it off with on a light note. Right here we have three potential solutions. You have inventory, and then you have distributed, right on time manufacturing, and you got Jeff who can certify it throughout the whole process. But now on a more serious note, listen, we've been doing individual responsibility for a few decades now. And it hasn't moved the needle at all. We're actually accelerating our CO2 growth, CO2 emissions growth. So it's obvious that it's not working. And just to give you an idea as to why it's not working, we have 6 gigatons of CO2 are emitted every year just by the manufacturing sector. That's about 18 to 20% of the entire global CO2 emissions. That is not accounting for the energy it takes to manufacture or the energy it takes to transport it wherever you need to transport it in the world. And so that's 6 gigatons as opposed to a few hundred tons on your individual self. So that's a massive difference in scale. So the only way that we can actually make a difference is if we improve our, our scaling, our industries in that regard. Now, like as I was alluding at the beginning of the answer, this is why we're here, right? Startups are dynamic. We can come up with solutions to problems much faster and implement them faster. And the beauty of it, we can slot right into wherever vertical, whatever industry, whatever company, we have solutions for that. Just that companies need to want to, verify and reduce inventory and switch to a, right on time, manufacturing.
Yeah, companies need to work together these days for SDG number 17, partnership to meet the SDG goals.
Yeah, 12 and 9 as well, and however, there's so many.
I'm sure we can list and include all of them.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting what you mentioned about how you're all really well suited to work with partners and corporates and government agencies. And I think the truth is that you all three carry a lot of weight because you have done that. You've worked with a lot of automotive, manufacturing companies. Liana will talk about the good news later, but you've also worked with a lot of large brands as well, and same with you, Jeff. You've all had the experience of creating change and changing mindsets of corporates. Now, let's bring us back to the present, where we are here right now in Nagoya, Aichi, Japan. So my question to you is, why Japan? Why do you decide to expand your business in Japan? And maybe I'll start with you this time, Jeff.
Yes. So I think Japan is a really great country that put a lot of focus on robotics, automation, on going paperless. And I know in 2020, in November, there's a new policy enacted in the government saying 99.4% of all the procedure within the governments are going automated, going paperless. So you don't need a stamp no more physical stamp. So I think that's a really, really good news, and that makes sure that we are at the right time, we are at the right place, and I think in turns out we are getting ready to collaborate with all the partners, companies, enterprises, government right here to go forward. Thank you so much. Yeah.
That ties very nicely because earlier Alex was saying that the individual effort is not enough. You have to come at the top, and you're basically saying that in Japan, the policies, regulations have been put in place to incentivize and to really urge a lot of corporates to take action. Right, so top
It's
down.
very true.
Liana, what about you?
Well, I have 3 reasons, and sit for it. Number 1, market size and potential. We know that Japan is the 3rd largest economy, with manufacturing as one of the key industries. We have already worked with the likes of Unilever and L'Oreal in the other markets across Southeast Asia, across 6 markets. So we want to work with the likes of Unilever, L'Oreal, and recently we met with Kao, who validated the problem and also expressed interest to work with us. And then here in the home of Aichi, we also met with Thai Tires, as well as Kokusai Dengyo, who also validated the problem and expressed interest. So Thai Tires, have said that they would love to work with us after 1 month of, dating. So we're really excited about that.
Congrats.
So the second reason is definitely SDGs, right? A lot of Japanese companies are starting the DX process to try to meet the SDGs. Now, if we want to work towards SDG, how we are going to track the goals, right? How well we do that. And I think having our systems digitized and workflows digitized, and start looking at the indicators and also providing the data to see how well we're making progress towards those goals. So I think we're well positioned to definitely help Japanese companies, manufacturers to do that. And lastly, my favorite one, I think the cultural environment in Japan allows us to have even a Japanese term called mottenai. What a waste, right? If we have to throw away unsold products in very, very large quantities, And the other day I visited Gifu Castle. From the top, I see a lot of mountain tops. And I liked about Japan is that we are able to harmonize nature with industries. Now, in Asia, we're not, at the rest part of Asia, we have a lot of landfills. Imagine the effect of landfills and the effect of burning away. Even in Japan, we learned that 78% of waste is being burned. So I don't think that is a good scenario for the future. So let's work together to reduce business waste. Thank you.
3 very, very compelling reasons. I hope that's not our signal to go off. But it'll be soon. It'll be soon.
Yeah.
We'll have drinks and a lot of networking really soon, okay? Let's just finish off with Alex first.
Oh, finishing up with me, okay.
I'll give you the chance to have the last word, right?
Right, oh yeah. Thank you. That's very kind. So why Japan, right? Wow, that's a no-brainer. Japan is a manufacturing powerhouse. And what happens here reverberates throughout the whole world of manufacturing. And it's not just that. Like, from my experience, Japan also has an ethos, like Liana was saying, an ethos of reducing waste. I remember I was doing my undergraduate degree in Bucharest, in Romania, and one of my favorite professors, he was teaching us about methodologies to reduce waste, and the major one was lean manufacturing. That eventually became into lean startups and all of that, but this is where it started. So it was a methodology formed at Toyota, right here, Nagoya, Aichi. And that's kind of why I'm here. And because I want to take that legacy from the previous generation and just bring it into the next generation and do something good with it.
Lovely. So, if you are a company, an enterprise that wants to reduce excess inventory, you want to reduce carbon emission, you want to reduce costs, reduce time to manufacturing, and you want to increase security, verifiability, not sure if that's the right word, and if you really believe in the concept of mottainai, please come and speak to these 3 startups at the networking session. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure hosting all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yiling, for hosting that wonderful panel. Really inspiring. And I think all of you probably feel the same way I do, that tonight, hearing from all the startups and their fresh ideas and their passion and their enthusiasm and their high interest in being involved in the Japanese market is really, really exciting. So I think I mentioned earlier this evening that all of the startups have been here for the past 4 weeks in Nagoya, meeting with companies, learning about the Japanese market, and building community. We've also had some of the startups that participated in last year's program but weren't able to be here in person, and they're here in person now. So we have 2 of them, and we'd like to introduce them to you as well. So first I'm going to ask David Biga, who is CEO of Particle Space, to come up and share us a little bit about his company. David, please.
Hello. Hello. It's so good to be here in person. Nagoya has been a wonderful place. The food is oishi, or mecha oishi, from what I was told. So at Particle Space, we are helping real estate companies connect and access all of their data through a single platform. And we do this by giving our customers a suite of apps and APIs that they can leverage. My name is David Biga, CEO and founder of Particle Space. And if you'd like to learn more about how we're helping real estate businesses access and use data in the Japanese market, please come to our table. I'd love to talk more. Thank you.
Thanks so much, David. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Christian Cruz, and he is co-founder and CTO of Unique. Christian, let's hear from you.
Konnichiwa. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Nagoya has become a home to me. I'd like to tell you guys a bit about my founder journey. So as a fashion designer, I was often so frustrated with how many websites I had to visit to discover new products and services. I wish there was one unified fashion platform, so I decided to build it. I'm Christian, CTO of Unique, the fashion platform. Our platform connects brands, manufacturers, and consumers into one simplified solution. This reduces technology costs and helps businesses expand internationally. We hope to one day unite fashion globally and become the #1 used fashion app in the world. We're ecstatic to be here in Japan, and we hope to bring much revenue to Japanese businesses. If this is interesting to you, I would love to chat in my booth over here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Christian, and thank you to all of our startups. Everyone who presented tonight is going to be at the tables here on this side of the room, so we invite you to spend some time talking to them and getting to know them. We're going to be finishing up the program now, and so there's time to have drinks and to be talking and networking. Please remember to return your interpretation device back where you received it when you leave. And with that, this is Rochelle, and I'm really delighted to have had the opportunity to MC for this wonderful demo day tonight. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Good night. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thanks.